Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, authorities responded to a 3-vehicle crash in Port Lavaca just before noon today.
The memorial service for the 19 undocumented immigrants killed on May 14, 2003, rescheduled due to rainy weather expected this weekend.
And we continue with our coverage of the border as U.S. border officials are processing incoming migrants without Title 42.
Well, good evening, everyone. The storm has begun. It'll be here after midnight. You can see all this huge bloom of thunderstorms occurring out there in the northern Mexico mountains. Already, West Texas is under the gun. All this will be visiting you sometime after midnight. It'll be knocking on your door certainly by sunrise, and we'll have all the latest on what you can expect this weekend in just a moment.
And in sports, day 2 of the state track meet is underway, and it is featuring athletes from Refugio, Shiner, Ganado, and Victoria. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia. Just before noon today, authorities were busy with this crash in Port Lavaca. It happened at the intersection of Highway 35 and Broadway near Lighthouse Beach. 3 vehicles were involved, including that RV. No word on whether anyone was hurt.
An El Campo man facing 4 charges of deliberately slamming his vehicle into a teen and barely missing 3 others. The El Campo Leader News reports 21-year-old Robert Abel Johnson accused of 4 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. El Campo police say the attack ended an argument between several people at 405 West Jackson Street. Due to the wet weather this weekend, the memorial service for the 19 undocumented immigrants killed on May 14, 2003, rescheduled to Saturday, May 20th. It happened 20 years ago at Fleming Prairie Road near US 77. The victims died inside the back of a hot-packed tractor trailer. A total of 70 people were inside the truck, which reached 173 degrees. A 5-year-old boy was among the dead. Here are the current river flood warnings posted for the crossroads from the National Weather Service. In Victoria, Calhoun, and Goliad counties, a river flood warning in effect until further notice for the San Antonio River at Goliad.
In Victoria and Calhoun counties, a river flood warning in effect until further notice for the Guadalupe River near Bloomington.
In Jackson County, a river flood warning until Tuesday morning for the Lavaca River near Edna.
And now let's take a look at your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis, who tells us that this weekend, Mother's Day weekend, is going to be rainy.
That's tough, Mac, but it's not. Don't blame Mac.
No, don't blame Mac.
Don't blame Mac.
I'm just talking about the weather. The man upstairs is the one who makes it, so talk to him. But I got to tell you honestly, you might have to rethink your Mother's Day's plans, because I'd rather you be and she be safe, right? Okay. The storms have already begun. Here's the crossroads. Here's the line of storms from Midland, Odessa. Already got 3/4-inch hail. Vicious thunderstorms all the way down to the mountains. It's going to roll this way. There's no way around it. It'll be here after midnight. Certainly by tomorrow morning, it'll be an absolute deluge here, and it'll affect everybody. So we'll talk about it a little bit later on. Back to you.
Mac, thank you. A 4th skunk in the Mission Valley area found positive for rabies by the Texas Department of Health lab in Austin. This is now the 2nd skunk in the Mission Oaks neighborhood to be positive for the virus. The Victoria County Animal Services is asking the public to report any suspicious or outlandish wildlife behavior to their facility.
I recommend don't leave any kind of pet foods out overnight. You can mitigate water resources for them, and don't give them anywhere to live. So if you have a shed or a house that doesn't have skirting around it, put some skirting around it or some hardware cloth or something to keep the animal from wanting to go into there. So if we don't give them space, if we don't give them food, water, and shelter, they generally won't stay. I recommend don't leave any kind of pet foods out.
They also recommend residents keep their pets up to date with their rabies vaccines and keep pets within your property area.
That's right. This brings us to your viewer poll this evening. Scan the QR code on your screen to vote now. The question that we want to know is, are you worried about the increase in finding skunks positive with rabies? Yes or no? We take a look at these results and 48% say yes, 52% say no. We want to keep on hearing from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we will have an update on 25 News Now at 10.
Title 42 is over and thousands of migrants are at the border.
Yeah, this is going to be a first-hand look at the situation in Eagle Pass.
Inside the chain link fences of a 350-acre ranch, groups of migrants wait for nightfall to make their way into the U.S. through Eagle Pass. The U.S. National Guard communicating with this rancher on where migrant groups are located on his property. Through the use of night vision binoculars, we were able to see the laser utilized by the National Guard to pinpoint a group of migrants. Forging our way through the mesquite, cactus, and treacherous land, it was only a matter of minutes before making this encounter. We just wrapped up the 10 o'clock newscast when we stumbled across this group of 7 migrants, all traveling from Honduras. In this group, 1 woman. All of them say they've been on this journey for the last 3 months, and that journey has ended right here. Border Patrol will be taking them to a processing center.
Pues mire, me siento muy triste porque pues mi sueño era ir a luchar, ¿verdad? Porque la verdad también yo corro peligro en Honduras.
Mucho peligro.
Mucho peligro, amigo.
This woman says she is sad that she won't be able to move forward. Her dream was to work hard and says she left Honduras because of the danger that exists in that country. The thought of going back bringing her to tears.
Por eso, amigo, que yo me he venido. Corremos mucho peligro allá. Hay mucha maldad.
At this point of the night, it is now close to 3 in the morning. The National Guard alerting the landowner of other groups nearby. In the span of 4 hours, migrant detections totaled more than 40 people.
Deportación es lo que hay, ¿no? Es lo que sigue.
A federal judge stopping the government from releasing migrants that are in the custody of U.S. Customs and Border Protection without court notices. The Florida judge placed a temporary block on the Biden administration in a late Thursday court filing. The Department of Homeland Security says more than 28,000 migrants are being held by Border Patrol. CBP was preparing to release some of them without court dates due to the current strain on border facilities.
And so we continue with our coverage of the border. For the first time in more than 3 years, U.S. border officials are processing incoming migrants without Title 42.
Tens of thousands of people desperate and determined to get into the USA, many saying they will do it illegally or legally if that's what it takes.
As the sun rose Friday over many southern border towns, the expected swell of migrants appeared orderly. Waiting lines getting shorter. U.S. Border Authority vans and buses on the move.
We are processing them. We are screening and vetting them. And if they do not have a basis to remain, we will remove them very swiftly.
In El Paso, Texas, there's been no huge rush, no chaotic surge.
We were able to work and be prepared for yesterday. And I'm really pleased of the way everyone came together.
Yet that's not the sentiment in all border towns.
I wrote a letter to President Biden demonstrating and demanding that he declare a national state of emergency due to this immigration crisis.
One legal roadblock late Thursday, a federal judge temporarily blocked the Biden administration from releasing processed migrants into the U.S. before they have their court date notices.
It's a very harmful ruling, and the Department of Justice is considering our options.
While that plays out, U.S. officials are transporting waiting migrants to other crossing locations to speed up processing and any needed removals.
They can go into immigration enforcement proceedings, make whatever claim for relief they might, and if they don't succeed, be removed.
We don't know what's coming in tomorrow. We don't know what will be coming in a week from now. So we'll continue to work together and continue to be prepared.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
This was the scene this Friday morning at an entrance gate in El Paso. A large charter bus arrived as border officials process undocumented migrants on the other side of the fence. After being checked out, migrants could be seen getting on a Department of Homeland Security bus. Multiple agencies, including Customs and Border Protection, Texas DPS officials, as well as National Guardsmen, were working the scene, but the destination of these buses is unknown right now.
Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 6. The Allen Premium Outlets, for now, will remain closed following the shooting there last Saturday.
Also ahead, a family in Houston places a stop shooting sign after a bullet went through a child's bedroom.
Here's a look at what's coming up on Community Crossroads. We hear from Pam Health, the Billy T. Catan Recovery and Outreach Center, Kingdom Church, and we take in music by Stephanie Petrash Ross.
Now I know you might be wondering how it could be. You say, girl, look where you live, you way near a beach. Well, I don't really care, you could say what you will. I'll just put on some Bob Marley, lean on back and chill.
The Allen Premium Outlets will wait until all funeral services have been held for the 8 victims killed Saturday by gunmen at the shopping center before that shopping center reopens. WFAA reports all investigating law enforcement have cleared the scene. Retailers have been allowed back into their stores. The mall's website now says it will be closed through Thursday, May 18th. Many area memorial services are next week. A Harris County family hoping a few signs can help stop the shots being fired from a wooded part of their neighborhood.
They say one of those bullets went through the bedroom window of 2 children.
With gunshots a near constant.
You guys just found that?
Yeah. Bullets aren't hard to find in the small patch of woods lining the Guevara family's home.
I mean, the neighborhood is just on the other side right here.
What if has always been in the back of their minds until late last month when it became their reality.
It really felt like I was in a movie or something.
A bullet entered 8-year-old Mateo and 12-year-old Jonas's bedroom. It was a Friday night. The boys were still out playing.
Yeah, thank goodness. Yes.
They're worried they won't be so lucky next time.
I didn't really feel safe anymore. I remember that night I didn't even really want to sleep in my room.
The family tells ABC 13 gunshots have been a problem in the wooded area for years. Something they have contacted the Precinct 4 Constable's office about.
They told us that there's not much they can do as of right now because everyone is short-staffed, and they just have to keep calling.
So they decided to take matters into their own hands and had these signs made. So far, they believe they're working. They haven't heard any gunshots recently. They're hoping things are able to improve without getting worse.
It actually is pretty sad that that's probably what it's going to take, that something really bad to happen. It shouldn't get to that point.
Authorities say patrols have increased in the area since the shots fired incident.
LGBTQ+ protesters marched the Capitol this morning to oppose the SB 14 legislation, saying it presents great harm to transgender youth and takes control away from parents and guardians. SB 14 would prohibit trans youth from getting puberty blockers and hormone therapy in order to transition. Trans kids who are already accessing these treatments for gender-affirming purposes would have to stop in a, quote, medically appropriate manner, unquote. Also on Friday, the House State Affairs Committee voted 9-4 to advance Senate Bill 12, which would ban drag performances in the presence of minors in Texas.
For more on today's news stories, come to our website, crossroadstoday.com. Read about green ammonia under production at the Port of Victoria. That's under news. And here's weather with Mac.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. The stormy weather that we're expecting has already begun out to the west. It's really just a matter of time. So sometime after midnight, thunder, lightning, and very heavy rain for the weekend. More coming up in just a moment. Well, I want to excuse myself from all the moms of the world because a lot of plans are going to be changed this weekend. The big rain event has already begun. Now, as you can see, we're here, the crossroads, and you can see an enormous line of storms from North Texas through Midland, where they already got 3/4 inch hail, to this little spot right here just north of Del Rio. I'm concerned there's going to be a tornado coming out of this. This is a complex that's really getting going. And then the stormy weather goes all the way south into the mountains of northern Mexico. When will it get here? After midnight. What time in the morning? It's going to be raining heavily. And your travel is going to be impacted by all this. Now, of course, you're thinking, well, it's very far away. We'll get out of it. It won't make it. I don't buy that one. As you can see, all of these counties of far west Texas are under a severe thunderstorm watch, and some of them are under warnings. There you see the Laredo area, and Del Rio is very close to the activity. I'm going to zoom up a little bit farther, and you can see the big thunderstorms already rolling around the I-20 corridor. This is Midland, Odessa, and all those communities. They're really getting pounded by severe storms even as we speak. Now, the rest of us in green here are under a flood watch because so much rain is likely to occur. I've said this before, and I don't say it lightly. It's like a tropical storm without the wind, because we're going to be looking at 5 to 7 inches of rain storm total. This is 3 or 4 days of rainfall. So that means that many of the low-lying areas that flooded during Harvey are going to see that again. Now, in addition to us being under the flood watch, we have flood warnings for some of the local rivers, and that is only going to be expanding as we get through the weekend. So tonight, if you got anything to do, and we were speaking with staff members, you know, people who leave their patio furniture outside, well, it may get blown away in the wind because we're going to be looking at 60-mile-an-hour wind out of this. Here's our complex low. It is spinning around. You can see how one line of storms moving south and another one moving north. We have a deep pocket of low pressure out here in western areas, giving us this broad sweep of this southerly moisture, and that is producing the stormy weather. Now, we started Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. You can see we've had one little band. Then we go through Saturday, 6 p.m. You can see more rain over the area. We go to Sunday morning, you can see more rain over the area. And this is not one of those storms that just blows through here. This one's stuck on top of us for 3 days. That's why it's going to be a significant rain event, and you can see how this low basically continues spinning around. The front never really makes it through. In other words, our wind does never really shift out of the southeast, but it is the focusing mechanism for a lot of this stormy weather. So let's try and look at it again. Here we go, 3 a.m. on Saturday morning. What does Future Tracker say? Future Tracker says thunder and lightning just about to approach the region. Sunrise, big thunderstorm around the area, heavy downpours. County roads are going to be especially susceptible. So, you know, many of those roads that were flooded during Harvey, well, we're going to be looking at that again. Now, I-10, 59, 77, major roadways should be okay, but I would discourage any kind of travel because it's not worth risking it unless it's absolutely critically necessary to get out there. Now, let's take a look at your forecast. Well, it's going to be quiet tonight until midnight. Then after midnight, it gets real heavy. And then by tomorrow, Saturday morning, we've got an alert day for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday as stormy weather hits the crossroads, and it won't go away till about Tuesday. That's your 7-day forecast. I want to remind you to scan the QR code, put Crossroads today, and I'll be able to get you any kind of bulletin that is necessary over the weekend. And now we'll toss it back to Karina.
Thanks, Mac. And now here's Sports Director Gina Perez.
Thanks, Karina. Shiner beat Ganado last night to move on to the next round of playoffs. That's coming up after the break. At Crossroads, day 2 of the state track meet features Class 2A and 5A schools, including Shiner, Ganado, Victoria East, and the defending state champion Refugio Bobcats. East Titan Matthew Jackson headed up to Austin and brought home unfortunately did not bring back a medal to Victoria. Jackson tallied a couple of good jumps, but was not able to crack the top 5. His best jump would come after his 5th attempt when he flew through the air for a distance of 22 feet and 1.5 inches for 6th place. Jackson was out of 1st place by a distance of 1 foot and 3 inches. Also competing in the long jump is 2-time football state champion Dalton Brooks. The Shiner Comanche had his best jump on his 2nd to last attempt, posting a 22 feet and 2-inch jump. Unfortunately, it would not be enough to make the podium. The Texas A&M commit set a regional record of 23 feet and 8 3/4 inches, which would have won him the gold today. Brooks will be competing in relays later today and will look to get his first medal of these championships. The Lady Comanche Kaylee Bedecker competed in the state shot put competition today. Bedecker's first throw was her best. The big metal ball traveled a distance of 37 feet and 7.25 inches. The first place winner from Fall City threw a total distance of 39 feet and 3.25 inches. Although she did not medal, Bedecker did score a point for her team to potentially win the state title. Refugio Bobcats discus thrower Colton Taylor attempted to do the same and try to get some points for his team as well. Out of the total of 6 throws, Taylor was only able to have 3 qualifying throws. His best one came at the end when he threw for 138 feet and 11 inches. Taylor finished in last place, but as a freshman, it's still remarkable to even make it to the state championship competition. On to game 2 between the Shiner Lady Comanches and the Ganado Maidens. Shiner came into the game with a 1-game lead and started off fast, putting up 4 runs in the first few innings. Ganado would not go away though. Jalea Foster hits a bomb to the fence and she sprints her way around the bases and slides her way in for a triple and prime position for the first run of the day for the Maidens. Deja Vu, the next batter, Bella Adrian, hits one over the outfielder to the wall as well to bring home a run and also goes into third for a stand-up triple. Ganado getting some momentum in Cuero. Shiner continued to get base hits, but could not put another crooked letter on the scoreboard. Score still 4-1 heading into the final inning. Foster back up at the plate and looking to repeat her last performance, but the game ends with a fly ball being caught by the catcher. Series over. Shiner sweeps the once-ranked Ganado Maidens by a score of 4-1. Freshman pitcher Adeline Siegel said she is a part of a complete team and glad that her coach trusted her in this spot.
I've grown up watching this game. I've grown up watching them play, and I know how big of a rival this is, and that kind of fueled me to get this win for my team. So,
Shiner will play Granger in the next round next week. Granger has not scored more than 2 runs in any of the playoff games they have had. And this just in, the Refugio Bobcats and Lady Bobcats 4x100 meter relay teams are continuing to bring home medals. We will have more on that tonight, but Peyton Oliver is a state champion in the 4x100 meter relay, as well as the 100 meter dash, as well as Ernest the Flash Campbell. He won gold as well. Well, if you'd like to keep up with the results, go to our website at crossroadstoday.com. That's your sports. Don and Karina, back to you.
Thanks. We're back in a moment. Dollywood has a new roller coaster. Find out why Dolly Parton says she will not get on the ride herself.
Finally tonight, Dollywood opened its largest roller coaster ever on Friday, and Dolly Parton herself was on hand for the debut of Big Bear Mountain. It's a nearly 2-minute ride that reaches speeds of up to 48 miles an hour. It includes 3 launches, high-speed turns, and a pass behind a waterfall. Dolly said she's excited for the new $25 million roller coaster, but she's not going for a ride on it. She says she thinks she'd lose her hair. And I'll tell you something, if that happened, the workers at Dollywood would be working 9 to 5 to get that wig back. I guarantee you that.
Oh, gosh. I love
Good
Dolly.
stuff.
Yes.
She's great. Well, folks, I got to show you this Doppler image because the stormy weather that I've been promising you is already developing. And you can see that huge line of storms already out there to the west. It's about 6 hours away. Right now, in just the last few minutes, we've had a potential tornado. Well, actually, what we saw is rotation in a complex of storms that may be a problem. It's 5 miles north of Del Rio right now. We've already had severe weather, Midland, Odessa. All this popped up just in the last couple of hours. It's going to be rolling eastward, and so we're in the path, so we're going to be dealing with it. So it's not just us. It's not just the crossroads. It's pretty much all of Texas. It's going to be under the gun for some. Well, as Stevie Ray Vaughan would say, it's flooding down in Texas, and you may be doing that this weekend.
All right, thank you, Mac. Thanks for joining us. We're streaming 24/7 Crossroads Today Plus.
That's right, and we hope to see you back here tonight at 10.